Hi everyone, I hope all of you are able to hear me, right? Ashish, Aditya, Aishwarya, Himnath, everyone. I hope you guys are able to see the first slide of the presentation too. Can I get a quick response from all of you who are there in the session? Perfect. We'll just wait for a couple of minutes more. In the meantime, other people can also be here. As soon as everyone is here, we'll quickly begin with the session. Make sure you're sitting with some rough sheets and pen so that you guys can solve the questions along and take the important notes. Perfect. Hi everyone. Give me a quick response if all of you are able to hear me. Okay, just give me a second more. Hi, I hope all of you are doing well, right? Give me a quick response again if you guys are able to see the presentation, if you are able to see me and things are audible enough. We'll quickly begin with the session then. So I can see Diksha, Raj, Siddhant, Ashish, everyone. Perfect. Okay, so it's going to be a bounce back session after CAT. So I hope all of you who are sitting live with us as of now have given CAT too. Whether it has gone good, bad, ugly, or whatever it is, it's going to be a bounce back session for you too, so that you can focus on the non-CAT exam, which is equally as important as what you have given the other exam of CAT, right? The objective is any of the given exam that were considering for the year 2020, whether it is CAT, SNAP, NMAT, ZAT, IFT, or CT, whatever it is, at least one of the given exams should have been cracked or would be cracked. So if not cracked, then the objective is make sure that you do equally very well in the upcoming days that we have got in our hand with respect to all the other examinations. Specifically, why SNAP? Because among all the examination, technically there are two exams. We'll discuss about one of them, which is going to be your SNAP exam, which is easiest of the lot. When I'm saying it's going to be easiest of the lot, in comparison with the level of difficulty, you will see it's going to be almost 10 times less difficult what your CAT would have been for the year 2020. You know that it's going to be only 60 questions which is going to come up in the paper, and you've got only 60 minutes, so it's going to be as simple as what your state level MBA, CT, or CMAT exam would be up to. So possibly the weightage of the GD and the PA round will be a little bit higher for the year 2021 intake for symbiosis, but at least all of us who are preparing for the given examination of SNAP should get the top three college calls. When I'm saying the top three college calls, it's basically SIBM, followed by SCHMRD, followed by SIIB. These three are the most important colleges which you may consider would be equally good among any of the top 30 colleges that we have in India. Obviously, we are also considering a couple of backup options, which is SIMC, SIOM, and few other colleges which you might have filled in the list. If not, then make sure that you fill it soon. But yes, the objective is SIBM, STHMRD, and SIIB. The cutoff difference between STHMRD and SIBM is not at all much. It's hardly 1 or 2 marks here and there, and you can land either into SCHMRD or SIBM. So if someone is considering, okay, let me consider the backup option of SCHMRD, possibly 2 marks more, you can even go to SIBM Pune, which is the main campus or flagship program of Symbiosis, right? So keeping that in the mindset, all what we are looking at is cracking 2020 snap examination, at least with the beautiful flying colors. The objective is simple. It's going to be a speed based examination. You have got 60 questions and 60 minutes. I hope all of you have done some research on the given examination and have taken a couple of mock tests too. I also hope you know that the number of questions which is going to come up in your quantitative aptitude section is going to be only 20, right? Of this 20, you can consider the problem solving math will be only around 13 to 14 questions. The remaining 6 questions will be DI plus DS, right? And it's all simple level DI. So if you want any reference book, the only reference book that you may consider as a Bible for your SNAP exam would be R.S. Agrawal itself, right? It's going to be freely available across all the free domains which we have on Google. Make sure you practice all the DI sets from R.S. Agrawal and you'll be prepared for the SNAP 2020 examination. Obviously, it is not enough, but you would also have to take mock test too, right? So before you start for the actual paper, make sure you write at least 4 mock tests before 20th. If you have not planned, please make sure in the next 2 weeks you are planning this and possibly 4 more mocks before you start for the month of July. Okay, so we are here to discuss about the 20 beautiful questions which is going to come up in your comment section. The objective is you have roughly, if you calculate the amount of time that you have got per question, you have one question, 1 minute, right? In the actual examination, your positive marks is credit of +1 and the negative mark penalty is 0.25, right? I don't want you to even consider 0.25 as a negative penalty. The only objective is make sure that whatever questions we are solving, I repeat, whatever questions you would solve in the paper, the accuracy level has to be above 90 percentage. 1 in 10 questions, it's okay to skip it, which could be slightly challenging, but 9 out of 10 questions would be purely easy, which all of you would be able to solve without touching your pen paper. The objective is without touching your pen paper, only one having a small glimpse of the question should be able to give you insight. Okay, what option could be possible for question number 1, 2, 3, 4, likewise, so on and so forth, other 20 questions that we will be considering. Around about 25 questions, Raj will discuss this. Around about 25 questions we will be taking up in the today's session. But the objective is simple. Let's read the question so very well that the answer could have been available with us without touching our pen paper or a sheet. Obviously, there are a couple of questions in which we'll use a couple of important applications and shortcuts or option analysis to see what option can give us the answer and what will never be the answer. If give me a heads up if all of you are all set to go and see the questions along. All the questions that we have taken are the actual snap questions previous year. The intensity is less, so none of you will face difficulty. It's good, it's fine. Howsoever cat has gone, the objective is you guys have to bounce back. Make sure that snap and maths art IFT any of the given examination which is left gets cracked, if not cat. Clear? Okay. So without wasting more time, let's quickly begin with the session. The first question that I've chosen for you is going to be a snap 2010 question. I repeat, the snap 2010 question. It's a simple silly question, but let's see if you guys can solve it without pen. In a retail outlet, the average revenue was 10,000 rupees per day. I repeat, in a retail outlet, the average revenue is 10,000 rupees per day for the period of 30 days. During the period, the daily revenue on the weekends is 20,000. The 8 weekends. So for 8 days, it is 20,000. For 30 days, it is 10,000. This is the average revenue. And the question is find the average daily revenue of the weekdays. So we basically have weekdays and weekends. Together, I want all of them to be on 10,000, right? But over the weekend, which has 8 days, over the weekdays, which has 22 days, for 8 days, it is 20,000, right? So each day is contributing 10,000 more. If each day is contributing 10,000 more, overall, I have to compensate 80,000. Average means equalizing all the values so that all of them becomes equal, right? Because eventually if all the values are equal, the average will also be the same. So for the 8 days, the deviation, if I look into, all the 8 days are basically 10,000 more. Effectively, they are 80,000 more than the average. So I got to compensate this with the 22 days which are remaining from the weekdays, which means out of the remaining, oh, good enough, DP. So it's basically 10,000 minus 80,000 is a deviation which you have to consider from 22 days. It's as simple as what is 80,000 upon 22? Even if you consider this 40 upon 22, 40 upon 11. 1 by 11 is zero point 0.9, so it's 9.09 into 4. The value will become 3636.36. The answer is 10,000 minus 3636. If you do that, the answer will be 6364, which you guys have got. Is this clear? So though we have taken some help of the pen and paper to solve the question, but if you read the question well, it's all about, and if the concepts are clear, which said average was about equalizing all the values so that all of the values become same. If some values are above average, definitely some of the values will be below average. So if the 8 days are contributing 80,000 more than average, the 22 days have to compensate for 80,000 below average. So it's 80,000 upon 22 days, which is nothing but 40 upon 11, which is 0909 into 4, which is 3636. You'll get to see, even if you don't do it, you will get to know it's 3636. So the 10,000 minus the last value 4, 6 will give you the last digit as 4. There's only one option ending in 4, so the answer would be 6364. Is this clear, everyone? Ashish, Abhishek, Aditya, Anish, everyone. Shivaji, you can use allegation too. The ratio of number of days is known to you, and the average easily you'll get. So there's not the case that you have one practice to get the answer out. There's so many things on which you can be dependent on. The objective is we just have to crack the question really very well, and better and sooner than other people who are live and taking the questions along. Perfect. Let's take the next question. So all the questions are tiny. They have technically can be solved in less than a minute of a time. That's what the objective is. Before you sit for the exam, make sure the mock test, the sectional test, whatever you want to practice is of the appetite level. One question, 1 minute. Nitish borrows 900 at a rate of 4% per annum, 1100 at 5% per annum during the same period or during the same duration. He had to pay 364 in all as a simple interest. What is the time period? Right? So majority of you who are available now, if you know there was something which was called as D sum, which is nothing but addition of digit sum, very well you will be able to solve the question really well. So you have 900 rupees at 4% per annum at X. What is X? The number of years. Same way 1100 into 5 into X should be equal to 364. D sum was all about addition of digits so that the values become same. In the entire caselet of board mass, I repeat, in the entire caselet of board mass, if two values are same, then the D sum will also be the same, right? So basically, for example, imagine if 21 to 31, if the answer is 651, add the digits. 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4, 3 plus 4 is 12, and 12 plus 1 is 3. If you add the sum digit of 651, 6 plus 5 is 11, 11 plus 1 is 12, and this is also 3. So left hand side should be equal to the right hand side is what we are considering, right? So X is the value which I will consider from the options. But let's see, the D sum here is 9. You multiply any value with 9, the answer would be 9. The D sum is going to be 9 itself. 9x here. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 5 is 10. So it is going to be 1x is equal to 3 plus 6. 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 will become 4. So I can see 10x is equal to 4. Which value on multiplication with a D sum of 10 will give you 4? There's only one value, which is 4, which is 1 into 4 equal to 4. So by default, the answer has to be 4 years. So the D sum of this value plus the D sum of this value should be equal to the D sum. D sum is a digit sum of the right hand side, which is 364. 3 plus 6 is 9, 9 plus 4 is 13, 13 becomes 4. You multiply any value with 9, the D sum would be 9 because 9 9 is 81, 9 8 is 72. You multiply any fucking value with 9, the answer is going to be 9. 9 19 is 171. It's going to be 9. So directly I've taken 9 here. 9x plus x is equal to, so let me repeat the step once again. It's called as D sum. Majority of the questions of arithmetic and algebra can be solved by using D sum very well. So it's like if A into B is equal to C, or if A plus B is equal to C, or division, subtraction, whatever comes up, the D sum of the left side should be equal to the D sum of the right side. For example, 11 into 11 becomes 121. 11, 1 plus 1, 2, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 2 should be equal to 4. Similarly, 11 plus 11 would be equal to 22. 2 plus 2 should be equal to 4. So I'm equating the left hand side should be equal to right hand side. 900 into 4 into x plus 1100 into 4 into x is equal to 364. Just take the d sum of this value, you will get this as 4. 9, 6 plus 3 is 9, 9 plus 4 is 13, 13 will become 4. Now, here it is 9x. Without doing, I know the answer is going to be a multiple of 9. Here it is 2, 2 fours is 8, 2 fives are. 2 5s is 10. 10 will become 1, so it's going to be 1x. Total will become 10x is equal to 4. 10 ka dsum is 1, so x is equal to 4. Which value is 4? There's only one value 4. Is this clear? Is this clear to everyone? The answer is going to be as simple as 4. Perfect. Amazing. Okay, cool. On this note, let's see the next question. Our time series. So time series distance is going to be an important chapter across all the examination that you are planning for the upcoming series. So let's read it well. It says A and B start walking from city A to B at the same time. So A and B start walking from city A to B at the same time. The distance between A and B is 60 kilometers. A travels 4 kilometers slower than B, or B travels 4 kilometers faster than A. That's okay. When B reaches B, she at once turns back, meeting Anna, the A guy, 12 kilometers away from the city of B. Right? What could be the speed of B is what the question is. So among three variables, which is time, speed, and distance, one thing across all the questions will be constant. I'm not saying it's going to be always the same, but at least one of the dimensions is going to be constant. In this case, what I can see is the time. The time when they meet is the time taken by A as same as the time taken by B. That's okay that A has spent more kilometer or B has spent more kilometer, but the amount of time is going to be available with them is same. So you've got A and B who are covering 60 kilometers. It has been said the distance between A and B is 60. A travels 4 kilometers slower than B. So let's consider A to be as x and B to be as x plus 4. That's how you can infer. It says when B reaches B, it comes back and travels 12 kilometers more, right? I'm saying the amount of time taken by A and B is going to be same. By the time A comes till here, B has gone the whole distance and actually has come back also. So what is the distance covered by A? A basically has covered only 48 kilometers, right? So it is 60 minus 12. And whereas B will cover how much? B will cover 60 plus 12, which is 72. Which is 72, right? Now I know speed is directly proportional with distance if time is constant, right? So basically the ratio of distance covered is how much? B versus A, 72 by 48, which is equal to x plus 4 upon x. If you cut this will become 6 by 4, which is nothing but 3 by 2. So it becomes as simple as x plus 4 upon x will be equal to 3 upon 2. If you solve this, what do you get? 2x plus 8 is equal to 3x, or x is equal to 8. What is the value of x? X is for A. We have been asked about the value of B. So this is going to be 12. Is this clear? Is this clear, everyone? Or if you want me to redo it, I'll do that. So the only hint that was there was the time here would be constant, whether it is for A, whether it is for B. The time available with A and B is constant. The distance covered by B is definitely more than the distance covered by A. And that's what we have taken the ratio of, right? So 72 upon 48 is what we have done. Why 72? Because it is 60 plus 12. Why 48? Because it is 60 minus 12. As said, if time is constant, speed is directly proportional with the distance. So generalized expression S1 by S2 will be equal to D1 by D2. As simple as this. Is this clear, everyone? Hitendra, Jasmine, Miva, Nikita, everyone. Is this clear? All right. If you guys all set, let's see the next question here. Okay, a very silly question from Time Still Distance, which has come in the previous year snap paper. Uh, let's read the question, and I'm sure you guys would be able to solve the question on your own itself. It says 20 men can do a piece of work in 30 days, working 4 hours a day. 30 men work for 20 days for 3 hours a day. When all of them were laid off except one, so there's one person who's still there. How many more days would it take for the last man to complete the work, working 10 hours a day? working 10 hours a day. The only concept that you will use in question like this would be the product of M1, D1, T1 should be equal to constant. Number of people, days, and time. The product of this should be constant. So the total amount of work that I have is 20 into 30 into 4, which is how much? It is 2400. The amount of work which has been done till now is 20 into 30 into 3, right? How much work has been done? It is 1800 work has been done, right? So the amount, there's only one person who's left, who's working for 10 hours a day. How many hours will it take? So 2400 में से तुम्हारा 1800 तो जा चुका है, बचा है 600. 600 to be covered at 10 hours per day. It's going to be as simple as 60 days the guy will take to complete the work. Clear? This is the total amount of work. There's the amount of work that is being done. There's the amount of work which is left by the single person who will be doing it. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. Okay. So the only concept is MDT, which is or man days concept should be constant. Number of people working, number of days working, into number of hours that they're working is constant. Let's see what is the total amount of work that I have to do. It is 20 into 30 into 4. How much this is? This is 2400 is the total amount of work which was there, right? Which was there, right? And what do I see here? It's 30 into 20 into 3. What is this? This is 1800. So out of 2400, 18 hours units of the work has been done. What is left is the last person who's there, which is one person working for X days at 10 hours per day. So it is 10x, right? So basically the gap of 600 to be covered at 10x. So what is the value of x? X could be as simple as 60. Clear? I mean, it's too silly a question that you guys will take more time to solve. It's very well. Everyone, Chinmay, Raj, Shitendra, everyone, you guys will be able to solve these questions in less than a minute, provided the basic concepts are even clear. No? Provided even the basic concepts are clear, very well you'll be able to solve the questions which you are seeing on the screen. Okay. Okay, a simple question for all of you, and I hope all of you would be able to solve the question on your own. Yeah, next question. There's a slightly a silly question, so I'm giving it to you guys. 2 barrels of mixture containing ethanol and gasoline. So in both the barrels, ethanol and gasoline both are available. The content of ethanol is 60% in the first barrel, 30% in the second barrel. In what ratio the 2 barrels should be mixed so that the mixture contains 50% ethanol? Answer? A very simple question. So either by weighted average or by allegation, very well you will be able to solve the question. Nothing to worry about. Perfect. In one of the barrel, you've got 60% ethanol. In second, you've got 30%, and the overall is 50%. You simply make 2 cross lines. Very well, you'll be able to get the answer as 2:1, right? So that's what. So there are a lot of questions which you will see out of 14 questions of math, excluding DIDS. You can expect 3-4 questions to be so simple. Clear? And remaining questions, very well, if your concepts are clear, you guys will be able to solve the question really very well. A moderate level question, what I can say, but still, when I'm saying moderate, it's very subjective. What is moderate for me could be easy for you and vice versa, right? So it all depends on the conceptual clarity that we have got before you go for the actual paper. Amazing. Let's read the question and solve this. The question says, while finding the average of 468 natural numbers, I repeat, while finding the average of 468 natural numbers, a student added a number twice. A student added a number twice. One number has been added twice, but counted it only once. And got the answer 9/17 more than the actual average. Got the answer to be as 9/17 more than the actual average. The question is, which number did he added twice? Which number did you added twice? While finding the average of the first 68 natural numbers. So just because of one number, एक ऐसा number है, just because of one number, which has been double counted, because of which the average increased by 9 by 17. By 9 by 17. Provided your concepts are clear, very well you'll be able to solve the question. There are 68 numbers which you're adding. One number has been added twice, because of which the average increased by 9 by 17. If it was initially A, now it is A plus 9 by 17. What do you mean by average has gone up by 9 by 17? Average has gone up by 9 by 17 means average means bhai sahab har ek ka kitna hai, which means all, just because of one number, all the 68 numbers have increased by 9 by 17. So if all of them are increasing by 9 by 17, this is because of the new number which has come up. So the new number's contribution would be 9 by 17 into 68. No, 68 numbers have been increased by 9 by 17. So what is the total value? It's as simple as 9 4 are 36. You guys don't have to make an equation to solve this question. I repeat, you guys do not have to make an equation to solve the question. It's provided our concepts are clear, we are sorted from ahead very well, having a simple glimpse of the question, very well we'll be able to crack the question. The only concept which was required by all of you was, what is average? Average is not sum of value divided by number of values. That's a formula to find the value of average. Average means what is each value carrying. So average increases by 9 by 17 means all the values, all the 68 values have increased by 9 by 17. When would they increase? Only because if 36 comes up one more time. So 36 came up one more time, which was distributed among 68. The value would be 9 upon 70. Is this clear to everyone? Out here in the crowd, everyone, is this clear? So as said, you don't have to work on technical formulas or theorem. You have to work only on the applications and the concepts. If this is clear, very well you will be able to solve the question. Nothing to worry about. Nothing can beat you. Nothing will stop you to crack the given examination. Clear? So work only and only around about the concepts. Nothing else you have to worry about. Okay. Next question, what you can see on the screen is so the sides of the equilateral triangle are all produced on the order such that the length of each side is increased by 2 times itself. The length of each side is increased by 2 times itself. So there's one equilateral triangle and you're also making one more equilateral triangle. So ek to pehle se, you're also making one more equilateral triangle. The side of each is increased by 2 times to itself. So अगर पहले का side 1 1 1 था, तो second वाले का side कितना होगा? If the side of the first triangle is 1 1 1, next one would be how much? The side of the next triangle is increased by 2 times itself. It will be how much? Come on, everyone. Increase by 2 times itself. Clear? So increase 2 times का मतलब होता 2. Increase by 2 times का मतलब होगा अभी होगा 3. There's a difference. There's a difference. Increase by 2 times. मतलब ये अब 2 से बड़ा. Increase 2 times का मतलब होता है कि अब वो डबल हो चुका है. By और 2 में डिफरेंस है. ये बहुत कॉमन सा डिफरेंस है एक्चुअली. जो लोग पेपर में ध्यान नहीं देते उनके साथ होता है. By 2 times का मतलब है 2 टाइम और बड़ा. So it is 1 plus 2 3. Increase 2 times का मतलब है 1 का 2 हुआ. Clear? So the only thing, the question is the area of the new triangle is k times more than the area of the original triangle. So ratio of area निकालना है. बहुत simple सा एक equation बताता हूँ. If one-sided figures of one-dimensional figures are in the ratio of a is to b, then the two-dimensional units will be in the ratio of a square is to b square, and the three-dimensional units will be in the ratio of a cube is to b cube. One-dimensional मतलब radius, length, diameter, ये पकड़ लो आप. Two-dimensional का मतलब होता है area और three-dimensional का example आपको देता हूँ वो देखो, right? So अब इन दोनों का जो length है वो है 1:3 के form में. So area का ratio क्या होगा? It's 1:9. As simple as that. It's as simple as 1:9. So 1 is ideally 9 times 9, right? 1 is ideally 9 times 9. The actual answer for the given question was 9. The actual answer for the given question was actually 9. Is this clear? So no need to remember the formula, which is root 3 by 4 a square, which is the general formula for finding What? For finding the area of an equilateral triangle. It's okay, you can skip this. No one needs it. दो फिगर्स का रेशियो पता है 1:3, so area हो जाएगा 1:9, वॉल्यूम हो जाएगा 1:27, like this, as simple as this. Clear? हमको तो एरिया से मतलब है, वो कर्व्ड हो, टोटल सरफेस एरिया हो, no matters, but it's going to be as simple as a square versus b square. Everyone, Aditya, Aishwarya, Ashish, Adi, Faiz, everyone, is this clear? Yes, Chinmay, it's going to be available. Is this clear, everyone? Nothing to worry about. So it's okay if you don't have not forgotten the formula. If the concepts are clear, very well you will be able to solve the question. It's simple. If one-dimensional units is in the ratio of a to b, two-dimensional units will be in the ratio of a square is to b square, and three-dimensional units will be in the ratio of a cube is to b cube. ये पकड़ो आप. So जो side है वो कौन से रेशियो में 1:3. So area कौन से रेशियो में होगा 1:9. As simple as this. Clear? Good. Okay, a good question. Solve this. So geometry के अंदर maximum good proportion of mensuration based question will come up. इस question को अच्छे से करना. Read the question well, you will be able to understand what the question is about. The question says, a ladder on the road is inclined towards a wall. A ladder on the road is inclined towards a wall at a point of 12 meters above the ground, placing at the same position if it is inclined to the other side of the road. One side you incline it towards the left side, second time you incline it towards the right side of the road. This time it reaches 9 meters above the ground. Okay, the question says the length of the ladder is 15 meters and the question is find the width of the road. ये जो पूरा width है ये x है, ये x की वैल्यू आपको निकालनी है, ये x की वैल्यू आपको निकालनी है. सो एक बार लैडर को ऐसे रखा, एक बार लैडर को ऐसे रखा, दोनों साइड में जो हाइट बना वो डिफरेंट है, but the length of the ladder is same. But the length of the ladder is same. So what do you think? Very silly question if you look into. So let's say if this is the ladder on the left side, on right side it's going to go like this, right? It has been said the length of the ladder is simple, which is 15 and 15. One side it is 12, second side it is 9. So whenever you see a right angle triangle, especially in all the non-CAT exam also, let me repeat, whenever you see a right angle triangle, it's going to be a Pythagoras triplet always. The easiest Pythagoras triplet is 3, 4 and 5, which you can never forget. So it is 9, 3 3s are, 3 5s are, so this would be 3 4s are. Into 3 into 3 into 3 was common constant. Similarly 12 15 तो आ चुका है, अब यहाँ पे क्या आएगा, right? So 3 into 4, 3 into 5, 3 into 3 will come here. So this distance is 9, this distance is 12. The overall distance would be 21. As simple as this. You can ask your question, Mayur. All of you, is this clear? Should I redo it? Everyone. So as said, it's a very simple question. You have to find Pythagoras triplet only to find out the answers here. So this is 3 into 3. अगर नहीं आ रहा तो Pythagoras formula डाल के निकाल लोगे. This is 3 into 5. So this is 3 into 4. क्योंकि 3 4 5 एक Pythagoras triplet है. Similarly, this is 3 into 5, 3 into 4. So this would be 3 into 3. So 9 is the distance still here, and 12 is the distance still here. So 12 plus 9, the answer would be as simple as 21. So as said, whenever you see a right angle triangle, majority of times it's going to be a Pythagoras triplet only and only, which is going to be functioning in the given exam. Clear? So पहला step ये देखना कि Pythagoras triplet लग सकता है या नहीं लग सकता, उसके बाद आगे देखना. But most of the cases उसी में लग जाएगा तुम्हारा. A good question. How many of you know how to find the last two digits? How many of you know how to find the last two digits of the given number? How many of you know how to find the last two digits of the given number? The question is, find the last two digits of 2 raised to 141 into 7 raised to 1214. So in number system, there are two kind of questions that you might have seen. One is finding the last digit. Second is finding the second last digit or last two digits, right? The question is about finding the last two digits. Can I get a quick response? How many, if you know how to find the last two digit? You can say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. That's okay. It's 2 raised to 141 into 7 raised to 214. If the answer is no, I'll be very happy. Very openly, I'm going to say I will be very happy because dude, इस question में last दो निकालना ही नहीं है. क्यों? क्योंकि अगर तुम question के options को देखोगे ना, इसका last digit सब जगह अलग अलग है. अगर सबके last digit अलग अलग है तो मैं second last क्यों निकालूं? अगर सबके last digit अलग अलग हैं तो मैं second last क्यों निकालूं? है ही नहीं ना. सिर्फ इसका last digit निकाल दो, आंसर अपने आप मिल जाएगा. Why do you have to worry about 2 raised to 141? 2 का power cycle is 4k. Dividing by 4, the remainder would be 1. So what is the last digit? The last digit would be 2 itself. Next is 7. 7 ka power cycle is 4. Dividing the exponent by 4, you will get the remainder of 2. If you get the remainder of 2, you will check the second digit in the power cycle of 7. Power cycle of 7 is 7, 9, 3, 1. You will check out 9 from this. You will check out 9 from this. So this is going to end in 9. This is going to end in 2. 9 2s is 18. So the answer, dude, is obviously going to end in 8 only, right? So why do we have to worry about the second last digit? ठीक है. So question अच्छे से पढ़ना. And question पढ़ने का सबसे sensible तरीका है. Let me repeat it n number of times I've repeated. When you read a question, read the options along. When you read a question, read the options along. If you're not able to identify a right question option, eliminate couple of wrong options which cannot be the answer. Clear? Majority of time 1 minute है तुम्हारे पास एक क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने के लिए. क्यों वो तुमको कार्ट लेवल का क्वेश्चन देंगे, right? No, that Puneet, the answer depends on what? The answer depends on the power cyclicity of the given value. So 2, 3, 7 and 8 you divide by 4. Then 4 and 9 4, 9, 9 you will divide by 2, right? There is a shortcut which we have covered in the last two digits. There are a lot of shortcuts about finding the last two digits. We have covered in CAT workshops also. People who are there in the CAT workshop. Let's say there was a question in CAT 2008 actual question. Find the last two digit of 7 raised to 2008. The options are 01, 31, 51, 71. Find the last two digit of 7 raised to 2008. How can you decide whether the options are close? 48 or 49 में भी 8 और 9 अलग अलग है ना. 48 और 49 में भी 8 और 9 तो अलग अलग है. मेरे को तो लास्ट डिजिट यूनिक ही मिलने वाला है. तो अप्रोक्सीमेशन कहाँ किया मैंने? You will definitely find the right answer only, else you are making a mistake. 7 raised to 2008, for example. Now the only thing that you need to do to check out all the approximation is the number a perfect square or not? Is 7 raised to 2008 a perfect square? 7 raised to 2008 is a perfect square of 7 raised to 1004, right? So it's like the value is ending in 7. The value is ending in 7 and the value is a perfect square. Let me check out the nature of all the values which are ending in 7 and the value is a perfect square. 7 square is 49. 17 square is 289. 27 square is 729. अगर मैं लास्ट के दो डिजिट देखूं 48, 89 and 29, लास्ट नंबर तो ऑड है और जो सेकंड लास्ट नंबर है वो तीनों केस में इवन है. मतलब अगर एक नंबर 7 पे एंड होता है और वो एक पूरी वैल्यू एक परफेक्ट स्क्वायर है, लास्ट दो डिजिट का कॉम्बिनेशन इज ऑलवेज इवन ऑड. इन चारों में इवन ऑड का कॉम्बिनेशन कहाँ दिख रहा है? सिर्फ एक जगह दिख रहा है. सो माय आंसर इज 01. So my answer is 01. You can check it for 1. 1 square 01. 11 square 121. Last two digit even odd, even odd. Check out for the value you want. 3 square 09. 13 square 169. 0969 is a combination of even odd. Clear? So 1 से लेके 9 तक क्लिक लोगे ना, अपने आप आंसर अपने आप निकलने लगेंगे. You are no more dependent on any the longer way of solving the questions or finding the last two digits. Is this clear? Everyone? Is this clear? Good to hear that. Okay. A simple question. Expecting answer from all of you. Read the question well. Read the question well and then take it live. Ram adds a number A to 2365. Ram adds a number A to 2365 such that the resultant becomes divisible by 45, 40, 30 and 35, all of them. The smallest value A is satisfying the given condition. It's the simplest question that you can expect. The only thing that you need to do is take the LCM of 45, 40, 30 and 35 and then subtract it from 2365. What is the LCM of 45, 40, 30 and 35? Find out the LCM of all the four values. What can be taken out common? It's 9, 8, 6, 7. Come on. Shivaji got the answer right. So it's 2520, which is the LCM of the given four values. So your answer will become as simple as 2520 minus 2365. What do you get the answer as after subtraction? What do you get the final answer as after subtraction? It's a simple question. So the smallest value that you're considering would be else finding the least common multiple of the given four values. It is perfectly divisible. It is perfectly divisible by all the four values. So we got to find the LCM only, which you got the answer as 2520. Subtract the value 2365. Very well, you'll get the answer as 155 as the final answer. Nothing to worry about. It's simple, silly, within a minute, achievable sums, which you guys are practicing. Just keep the momentum high. Just make sure that you are not making any silly mistake and you are bang on. Come on. Next question. Don't even take a minute. Possibly you read the question and the answer should be out. You read the question and the answer should be out. Come on. %20 people in a village left due to famine. Out of the remaining number of people, 25% died of hunger. If 2,000 people died, then find the population of the town or the city. So there's a difference. Some people left, some people died. It's not the addition what they are looking at. It is just the number of people who died of hunger. Puneet got the answer right. Nothing to worry about. If 20% people left, 80% is left. 25% of 80 is 1/4 of 80, which is 20. So 20% is 2,000. So 100% would be 10,000. As simple as this. 20% of population is 2,000. So the total population would be as simple as 10,000. It is not the addition of 20 and 20, 40. Because the remaining 20 have left the city or the village. Clear? Simple, silly, nothing to worry about. Good to go. Thought about question. Next. This again is a question which you will solve by using dsum. I'll give you a hint. I've given you a hint and let's see if you guys are able to solve this by using dsum. Ramesh lends 50,000 to Suresh and Rajesh at SI at a rate of 10 and 5%, 10 and 15% respectively. After 4 years, he earns the interest of 24,000. So 24,000 is the interest that which you are earning. The first person has got X rupees given at 10% for 4 years. Second person has got Y rupees at 4% at 15%, right? This dsum and this dsum should be equal, right? This is 4x. This is how much? 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 4 is 24. 24 will become 6y. Should be equal to 6. This is what the value which I am looking at. Now all what you need to do is check out the values, check out the dsum of the values, substitute among x and y and see which value on addition will give you 6. Come on, check out the values. Check out the values. So it is 3 and 2. So it's 4 into 3 plus 6 into 2. 4 3s are 12. 6 2s is 12. 3 plus 3 will be equal to 6. Hence my answer is 30,000 and 20,000. As simple as this. I don't need any concept for SI and CI. If whenever you, whether it is CI or SI, you can solve it by using dsum. Nothing to worry about. Why 6? Because dude, 24,000. 2 plus 4, 6 plus 0, it's 6. So the right hand side should be equal to 6. Left hand side, 1 plus 5, 6. 6 4 is 24 and 24 will become 6. Keep on adding the number till the time it becomes a single digit. Is what we are looking at. So this would be 2 plus 4, 6 and this is going to be 2 plus 6, 8. As simple as that. You keep on adding the numbers till the time it becomes a single number. You guys will be good to go. Okay. A simple, silly question again coming back on the plate. A toy seller marks his toys 50% above the cost price. He offers a special festive discount of 20% over the mark price for all the toys. Further, for regular customers, he also allowed 5% discount. Silly question. Find the gain percentage. All of you, come on. So imagine if your cost price is 100. Your mark price becomes 150. You're giving 20% discount, so you will come to the value of 120. On 120, you're giving 5% discount, which is going to be 6. So the final selling price is going to be 114. Your cost price was assumed to be 100, so the profit is 14%. All of you have got the answer right. Good enough. As said, just the momentum which you need to keep. No, make sure that there's no disturbance around, and you guys will be good to go. Check out the next question. There's also a snap action question. Two scooter riders start from the same place, move in the opposite direction. One goes towards east, second goes towards west. At 18 km per hour, at 20 km per hour. The question is, when would the distance between them would be 228? Right? Now, ideally, let's see. So when you see the distance or the speed is kilometer per hour, this is the distance which you're covering per hour. So together they are covering 18 plus 20, 38 kilometers in 1 hour. As simple as this. The question is 38 kilometers is covered in 1 hour. What is the distance which is going to be covered of 228 kilometers in how many hours? So the answer is 228 divided by 38, which is as simple as 6. Pratik has got the answer right. The answer is going to be 6. Clear? So simple, silly questions. Make sure there's no disturbance in the background. Come on. Question on allegation. And you read the question, the answer should also be out. You will not spend more than 20 seconds to get the answer. The mean age of the combined age group of men and women is 25. The age group of men is 26. The age group of women is 21. Find the ratio of men versus women. Simple question. The answer is as simple as 4:1, which Sankar and other people have got it. Clear? So these questions will not at all ever be difficult. So as said, you will find 4 to 5 sitters every time whenever you will be taking up the paper. And yes, along with this, you will also have to see the applicative math, which will be involved across the other 10, 12 difficult or moderate level question in the paper. Okay, next question. Next question. A train running at a speed of x km per hour covers a distance in y hours. If the speed increased by 12 km per hour, then it covers the same distance in 2 hours less than the scheduled time. If the speed is decreased by 10 km per hour, then it will take 3 hours more than the scheduled time. The question is, which of the following set of the equation is correct? Which of the following set of the equations are correct? So if the speed is x and the distance is, and this time is y, total distance is going to remain same, which is equal to xy. Next time, speed increases by 12, but time reduces by 2. So this should be one of the equation that we are solving. Another equation would be x minus 10, y plus 3 should be equal to xy. If you solve this, this will be what? Xy minus 2x plus 12y minus 24 is equal to xy. Xy gets cancelled. Minus 2x plus 12y should be equal to 24. This is the first equation that you may get. Or x minus 6y should be equal to minus 12, which I'll see here and here. दो जगह दिख रहा है. And now you have to solve the second equation likewise. Again, it's going to be xy plus 3x minus 30y minus 30 should be equal to xy. Xy got cancelled. 3x minus 30y should be equal to 30. So, which answer? So, you'll see 3x minus 10y, my bad. 10y should be equal to 30. So, one is this. And second is x minus 2y, 6y should be equal to minus 12. Which option do you see here? I see option number 4 to be the precisest answer that I can mark. Clear? Everyone? These are not difficult questions. It looks lengthy, but it is not ideally difficult. Looks slightly lengthy, but it is never not at all difficult. Clear? Perfect. Okay, a good question, which I would say, and it's a good rated question also. It says a plus b plus c is equal to 8. A plus b plus c is equal to 8. A minus 4 the whole cube plus b minus 3 the whole cube plus c minus 1 the whole cube minus 3 times a minus 4 b minus 3 c minus 1 will be equal to what is the question. If you see here, this looks like an equation of a cube plus b cube plus c cube minus 3abc. Looks like this, right? So all what I can do here is, let's assume a minus 4 to be as x, b minus 3 to be as y, and c minus 1 to be as z. Okay, so ideally if you add x plus y plus z, if I ask you, add x plus y plus z, you will say this is a minus 4 plus b minus 3 plus c minus 1, which is a plus b plus c minus 8 is what you are getting, right? Is equal to x plus y plus z. However, it is being told to you, what? A plus b plus c is equal to 8, no? So 8 minus 8 is 0. So you get x plus y plus z is equal to 0. I repeat, what do you get? X plus y plus z is equal to 0. And obviously, if x plus y plus z is equal to 0, then a cube plus b cube plus c cube minus 3abc will always be 0. So the answer would be as simple as finding the value to be s or equating the value to be s, option number D, right? It's visible here. A minus 4 यहाँ copy paste किया, b minus 4 यहाँ copy paste किया, c minus 1 यहाँ पे copy paste किया हुआ है. Is this clear? If this is clear, nothing to worry about. Very well, you will be able to solve the question, provided your basic algebraic expression formulas are sorted. If the basic algebraic expressions calculations are sorted, the formulas are sorted, very well. This was not at all a difficult question. Is this clear to everyone? Is this clear to everyone? Perfect. Good to hear that. Okay. Let's take this question. Okay. Ramesh travels by bus from city A to B at the average speed of 44 km per hour. Suresh travels by taxi by city A to B at average speed of 77 km per hour and takes 3 hours less. Obviously, if you travel at a faster speed, you will take less time. How much less? 3 hours less. What is the distance between two cities is the question. What is the distance between two cities is the question. For you, you might see two equations coming up, which is for Ramesh and Suresh. For me, there's only one equation. I'll consider it to be a person X who first travels at 44 km per hour, reaches in T hours. Then travels on 77 km per hour, reaches in T minus 3 hours. So speed has increased. No, we know speed is inversely proportional with time. We have also known about the fact that if speed goes up by 1 by x, time will go down by 1 by x plus 1. ये relation याद है सबको? कराया हुआ है सबको ये. If speed goes up by 1 by x, time will go down by 1 by x plus 1. So 44 is becoming 77. It is increasing by 33 on 44. The speed is increasing by 3/4. Yes, the speed is increasing by 3/4. In this case, the time will go down by 3 by 7. Will go down by 3 by 7. So 3 by 7 टाइम कम लगेगा और ये बोलता है ना यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है कि 3 घंटे काम टाइम कम लगा. So 3/7 of time. 3/7 of time is 3 hours. So dude, time कितना था? Time था 7 hours. So the answer is as simple as 44 into 7, which will mark the answer as 308. Is this clear? No need to make two equations. It's simple. If speed goes up by 1 by x, time will go down by 1 by x plus 1. Right? Speed पहले 44 था, बाद में हुआ 77. So 33 से बड़ा 44 पे. मतलब speed has gone up by 3 by 4. So अगर speed has gone up by 3 by 4, time will go down. It is not 1 upon x plus 1, it is numerator upon numerator plus denominator. So this would be 3 upon 3 plus 4, which is 3 by 7. So 3/7 of time कम लगेगा. ये बोलता है यहाँ पे 3 घंटे कम लगे. So 3/7 of time ही 3 घंटे होंगे. So actual time हुआ तुम्हारा 7 hours. Speed कितना पकड़ा था? 44. Distance मिल गया 308. समझ में आया सबको? Is this clear? Everyone, is this clear? Not at all difficult. Not at all difficult. The concept should be clear. Nothing else. Let's solve this last question before we sign off. It's simple. It's silly. Make sure there's no silly mistake. I'm expecting answer from all of you. Everyone out here. 5 raised to 2m plus 1. This 5 raised to 4m by 4. Because 5 raised to 4 is 625. It's 5 raised to m minus 1 into 5 raised to 2m. Come on. What would be the answer here? 5 raised to 3m plus 1. 5 raised to 3m minus 1. So you take it above. क्या हुआ? 3m cancel हो गया. बचा कितना? 5 square. And the answer will be as simple as 5 square, which is 25. समझ में आया सबको? यशदा, मयूर, राजेश, अर्चिता, आदित्य, आदि, आशीष. ठीक है ना? सर्ट्स के क्वेश्चन है बहुत सिंपल लेवल के, कोई डिफिकल्टी नहीं होगी इसको सॉल्व करने के लिए. बट एज सेड, 1 मिनट के अंदर क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करना है. ये एक्यूरेसी रेट हैज टू बी 90% प्लस. जो तुम्हारे पास 20 क्वेश्चन आने वाले हैं, 14 क्वेश्चन आएंगे मैथ्स के, 5 क्वेश्चन आएंगे डीआईडीएस के मिला के. इसमें कोई डिफिकल्टी नहीं आएगी. ये 14 क्वेश्चन तो तुम्हारे बैंग ऑन सही होने चाहिए. स्नैप क्रैक करने के लिए फोकस मोर ऑन लॉजिकल रीजनिंग हियर. मैथ यू आर गुड, एवरीवन विल बी गुड इन इट. Everyone would be good in it. Clear? So as said, the objective is before you sit for the paper, the next 3 days, next 2 days in fact, we also have got more sessions which is going to be on verbal and your logical reasoning. So make sure you're still tuned throughout the session for the next 2 days, so that you get the perspective of solving the live actual snap previous year question along with us. Cool. Then on this note, I'll take a sign off. We'll see you tomorrow again at sharp 8 o'clock. Today was 9. Yes, tomorrow would be 8 p.m. So you guys have to log in at 8 p.m. for tomorrow's session. On this note, I'll take a sign off. I'll see you next time. I wish you all the very best for the upcoming snap paper. If you have any difficulty or if you have any question, make sure you guys stay connected and ask relevant questions to all the mentors who are there on the board, who can help you out with the questions and the concerns which you are facing up. The recording will be available on the YouTube channel. It's MBAP. You can go and subscribe and see the available videos out there. On this note, I'll take a leave. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, all of you. Thank you.